Welcome to Philly Coco Presents Side Project Spotlight, episode 74. This is a developer's journey into making cool stuff. I'm Kotaro.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Aaron.
And we are Philly Coco, a Philadelphia-based Coco Heads community focused on Apple development. That primarily, but not exclusively, means iOS, Mac, tvOS, watchOS, and visionOS development. Philly Coco's true desire is to take you higher on your own developer journey. Whew. All right.
With today's topic, are we going to go high or low?
In terms of
the main topic for today is your failed journey. You say in the notes here. I don't know anything about this yet. So the audience and myself are going to be on this together. We're not going to get to that yet.
Let's start on a good note, shall we? Let's talk, or at least a reasonable.
Right. We're going to take this. We're going to take this journey together, audience, listeners, because neither Aaron nor I have any idea what's coming. But besides that, what else is going on?
I wouldn't call it dramatic, but anyway, we'll get to that in a second.
We'll get to that.
First we'll talk a little bit. We'll get through a little bit of news. September 9th, which is a week before this recording, there will be an announcement. In fact, probably the day of this podcast is released, we will know.
Is that right?
Yeah, September 9th. Yeah, that's
right.
Monday.
Right. So,
we will know.
It's on a Monday.
Yeah,
wow. Be. Yeah. Wait, it's on a Monday.
If I'm getting my calendar, if my calendar is correct, we're doing this live, people. Yep.
No. It says 9/9 on the website. I'm used to Apple stuff being on Tuesdays. I don't know, for some reason. I think it's always on Tuesdays.
So Apple has an announcement. For
I think it's iPhones. That's my guess. My guess is iPhones.
That would be a very valid guess. I don't know, Aaron. What do you think?
You think
they're just gonna put Siri stuff and Apple Intelligence, and there's not going to be any phones.
No phones. I think it's.
There is
for the first time in 15 years. No iPhones this year.
It's going to be an M5 iMac. That's what it's going to be.
I could have sworn in one of the promos they had like the visionOS goggle like in that screen, in that like morphing animation.
What was the tagline for this again? It doesn't say on their website.
It doesn't say on the website, but we can be assured, okay, in all seriousness, at the very least, we will know when the new OSs for each platform will be available. We'll know when we'll probably get the RC builds for the Xcode, and we'll have some general idea of what they actually put in, how much Apple Intelligence they actually put into these devices. In which case, the iPhone will probably have the most, considering that most likely they would have the new models out with the iPhone 16. I guess the rumor is it's going to be super thin.
At least one of the models, right? Like probably the Pro one, Pro Max or something, right?
Or maybe they're making like an iPhone Air, and there'll be iPhone Pro, iPhone. I
haven't
Pro
really
Max.
paid attention. I'm like 2 years into this phone, the 14, so I might end up spending a small fortune on a phone next week.
I think if I'm understanding the rumors correctly,
mortgage
payment.
Think they're actually it's an inexpensive mortgage payment compared to as I'm looking around on realtor.com lately.
What is it? It is supposed to be at least 12 gigs of RAM as the base, just to make sure that they can
at least on the Pro models, I assume. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, does it need 12 gigs for Apple Intelligence, or is that just going to be a Pro model thing? I don't know, but I'm sure they're all going to get. I think they're all going to get a bump up in RAM, because what did they have before? Like 6 maxed out or something?
6 or 8. But like that will get a bump. We know that at the very least, we know that there. What I'm hoping for is Swift Assist actually comes into play with for the new Xcode. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen Swift Assist come in at all for any of the the betas. So
not even in the 18.1. Oh wait, the 18.1 beta.
No, it's just basically it's like a localized model that is kind of just a glorified code completion. I mean, that is
it's all glorified code completion, but I mean, like you mean
like better code completion, I guess, for lack of a better word.
But you mean Swift Assist, the little demo they did real quick, which was like,
basically.
give me a bunch of, I don't know, what was it, like Apple computers in a list or something, and it like generated a mock-up or something like that.
Did they give a minimum spec for that stuff? Is that like M1 or do you need like M2?
M1 16. Well, I think they pulled back on the 16 gig requirement, but in terms of RAM, but I do know M1 for sure. Yeah.
They pulled back so they can get it to work, but it's just going to be slow.
Maybe. I don't know. I think they originally that was the plan, but I think they pulled that back. They might still do it, but I don't know. But I
guess we'll find out.
I don't remember it. Yeah.
We'll find out. You can listen to this podcast first in the morning, and then
so you can tell Apple there's tons of wild speculation here.
Yeah, if you're listening to this afterwards, don't worry about it. The next segment is actually useful to listen to, so you could you don't have to worry. We're not just going to talk about Apple event the whole time.
Cool. But do you have any last?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I always like new cameras. I do a lot of photography with my phone. Yeah. And I don't have anything that does Apple Intelligence stuff, so I don't know anything about that yet. So I'm excited for that. And also the same thing with Xcode, because I haven't been able to test any of that. Whatever limited models in there, because I'm not running the OS, because I don't run beta Mac OS, because I'm not a crazy person. I'm too risk averse, I will say, to be nice. I'm too risk averse for that.
I haven't installed it this year.
Yeah,
a few years ago I installed the betas, but not this year.
You were more risk taker back then. Now you have something to lose.
I am currently on the new version of the Mac OS, the beta version of the Mac OS.
While recording this?
While we're recording this. So.
Oh my god! So if this if this comes out, it'll be luck.
Well, I mean,
if your recording is comprehensible.
Yes. So hopefully nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
But so far so good.
If I have to replace you with like AI generated voice, you're gonna know why.
Right. But yeah. So again, I don't know, Aaron, do you have anything that you're excited about? Or are you like, yeah?
No, I'm just hoping I don't have to spend a bunch of money on a new iPhone. There isn't some right now. It doesn't seem like it's like a mandatory upgrade, but
what do you have?
I guess we'll see. 14 Pro.
Well, that's what I have, a 14 Pro Max, and it's a mandatory upgrade if you want Apple Intelligence, right? Unless they change that.
Right, but what is mandatory about that? Is it just some fun gimmicks, or or is there something that you need?
I think for us, it's because I don't know how else we're going to implement the intents and stuff. However, that stuff's not out even the betas either. Who knows when that's coming in next year? Maybe when we can actually interface with the AI stuff. So I mean, it could be the case that you don't really have to worry about it till the next phone.
When you say the intents,
remember the app intents. That's how you get your app to be able to work with Apple Intelligence. As far as I know, that's not in the beta yet, right?
I mean, the API specific, something like, for example, all I remember was like anything Apple Intelligence related was not available. I think you could still do app intents as a general, like exposing your functions, but not necessarily working with Apple Intelligence.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Having it work with Apple Intelligence. Yeah.
So you can't really test that. You don't have a phone.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So it depends on how important.
You could just make your users test it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's kind of like, isn't that like how Microsoft rolls with their Copilot PC? Isn't that what they did? Just like, let's roll out these horribly intrusive feature. Just see what people think. I'm being a little bit mean, but
I mean,
yeah, that was
so I do have like the Apple Intelligence, or at least whatever facsimile of it is working in the iPad beta. Like I have the iPad OS beta 18.1, and it's very like, it's not in your face until you actually like open up the text, or you integrate, if you interface with like Siri in any way, then it kind of like reveals itself. But outside of that, it doesn't do any. It doesn't it doesn't look like any, like too much is exposed up front. So
I don't really see much utility in it, but I guess we'll find out.
You guys are not selling it very well.
I know.
I know.
Look, the thing I am most excited about, and I don't know if you can do this in the betas, that's why I was asking, is can I have my app have, little features through the app intents like we've been able to do for years, but have them work reliably with voice commands? Like, that's basically what we've wanted for a long time. That was the promise of one of the upgrades to app intents, right? And it's just never really worked that well. Like, I've never gotten apps to reliably do that. If that works, that might be worth it to me as a developer, and as a user, I would definitely use that for some of my apps I have, because I do it now through shortcuts or whatever, and it's just kind of clunky, and if it's not clunky, then I'll use it more. That's the hope.
It's one of those things where, like, if the app intent, let's just say my cable bill, right? Like, if I asked Siri, don't do anything.
Don't do it.
Don't do anything. Siri, if I asked Dingus what my cable bill is, right, for this month, would it be smart enough to know, at least this new version, right? Like, the current version doesn't know unless you explicitly say, "Oh, my Verizon," you're talking about using my Verizon app. Can you give me my this month's bill? And if the Verizon app actually has built-in intents that expose that as a sort of like a pseudo API to, like, oh yeah, sure, I'll show you this little mini widget or whatever and tell you what it is, right? Whereas I think in this version, iOS 18, I'm hoping when I create an intent, I don't have to do this sort of like very regimented, like, hey Dingus, can you give me my this month's bill using the Verizon app. Right? Well, you have to be very specific of how you phrase it to get the correct information.
Yeah, did none of us watch the dub videos? I don't think any of us watched those, or I don't remember watching them or something yet. I guess I'm behind. Because I mean, this should be an answer we should know, how it's supposed to work.
That was a lifetime ago. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. This summer has been a blur, and so I don't remember either. We'll let you know next time. A couple weeks.
Yeah,
we'll let you know
in a couple weeks when we actually have desire to actually build that in.
Yeah,
but we can move on to our next
let's move on. That's the end of the news segment for those listening after the Apple event and already know all the answers. 3 years later, you're listening to this, you're like, what are these guys talking about? So what is the main topic today?
The main topic today is my failed journey into making a game jam game. So you listened to the last podcast.
Yeah.
I had said and declared, thus making myself accountable to saying I will have a game done for this game jam. Which the theme was fortune. No specific context except that word. So you can do whatever you want with that concept. So for me, a lot of times. Oh, go ahead.
No, I use it as a tease in the podcast description, so everybody would listen. And I don't know if it worked though.
Who knows?
The stats would know, but I don't have them in front of me.
So that was 2 weeks ago on a Monday that I had declared this.
Yes.
Or in our case, I guess Sunday. But was it Monday? Maybe it was Monday.
Again, time has no meaning anymore for me. I don't know.
And so I had 2 weeks to do it. The challenge is making sure that I maintain a certain level of scope that I knew that I could accomplish.
Oh boy.
Right. Okay. So there's your warning number one. But okay, fine. Right. So like, one of the things that I wanted to do, I like to have a clear, specific goals of what I want to learn whenever I do these game jams, whether it be a certain technique, a certain art style, something that I want to do. So there are two things that I wanted to do. One was learn the Godot game engine.
Mm-hmm.
So for anybody who doesn't know, Godot is a game engine that's open source, and unlike sort of the more commercial ones like the Unreal Engine or the Unity engine, you don't have to pay anything to build your games in it, and it can export out to majority of the platforms out there, with some exceptions. One being Apple TV for now, but you can deploy to TV. You can deploy to Mac OS, PC, the game consoles with some some level of you kind of have to work with some people, or you have to get a third party to help you out with that. But iOS, Android are also, you can deploy for free. The web, to a certain extent, you can deploy. So there are opportunities there to make your game, and it's also one of the more fastest growing game engines in terms of usage. So one of the game jams prior to this game jam, I forgot the name of it. It was a 48-hour game jam, very popular one. I think it was the Game Kit Game Jam. I think that's the name of the game jam. Which is, Game Kit is this very popular YouTube channel all about making games.
Yeah.
So, and their stats specified, like, it used to be like, practically 70%, 80% Unity with like 20 or 30% other game engines, and usually the other would be its own like slice in the pie.
Just other.
And then Godot, like in the later, like maybe starting in like 2019, 2020, started taking up like 8%, 9%, 14%. Still, Unity would still be a big chunk.
And then Unity decided to shoot itself in the foot.
Yes.
Is that what you're about to say?
Really, I mean, the time of it was pretty dramatic. The timing of it was pretty dramatic, just in terms of like when that happened. Within a year's time, we went from that small slice of maybe 14% or something to that degree, right? Still slowly picking upwards, but at a very linear pace. Whereas this year, exponentially, it just shot up to like close to like maybe 25 to 30%. I forgot exactly the exact percentage, but like a huge chunk of Unity share was like drastically sliced off.
Whoa!
It was very clear. It was taken right off a Unity slice.
Wow.
So
I don't know what the lesson here is. Be careful when charging developers for things, because they'll turn on you. I don't know. You do it wrong.
I mean, be careful about what is it? I mean, it's not as if they were making like Google's cash from the developers so much from those subscription models, but certainly the people who are making your quote unquote content. For which then you can sell your engine and basically have your developers make games for which then they can put your Unity ads, for which then you can make money off the Unity ads.
I mean, who buys the licenses for Unity? It would be developers, games,
small
right?
companies.
So it's like you
enterprise companies.
So the customers did not like certain changes, and I don't know how that ended up. By the way,
I don't think they mind so much. Like I think when Unity said, we're going to take away the personal, more or less the hobbyist.
I guess that's it, because the game jam, you wouldn't be coming in with a paid license if you didn't get away with it. You're looking for something cheap. So so it doesn't necessarily mean no one's using it for production stuff. It just means that game jams, people are like, you know what? I don't want to spend any money on this engine for a game jam. I'm going to try Godot. It's good now.
Well, the thing is, like, the personal edition is 100% reasonable for what it offers in terms of like, here's what we give you, and there's certain things you will still need to and if you want to get to a certain level, then if you let's say you deploy this game to the App Store, and then it makes over $100,000, then you have a choice between two. Either you go pro model, you either do the pro license, which is about I want to say close.
I think I'm starting to understand why people want for Godot. It's like, it sounds confusing already.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was much more confusing when they first made that licensing change, because it was based on revenue. And to be fair, like, that was like like so student was like a typical like student license. I guess they have a student one here. Then they had a personal one, which is like free to use, and you can get all the latest stuff, and you can do all the latest things. But there was like a limit to how much you can earn, as well as like you couldn't get access to a fair bit of the sort of like the very niche frameworks, like polyspatial. You couldn't make a Vision OS app or a game that is you know that is in Unity without getting a Unity Pro license to get access to what they call polyspatial framework, which is basically like a glorified um, wrapper for like a lot of the stuff that you would do in like Reality Composer Pro. So I don't know how much win you get out of that. But it was 185. It was 185 a month. Times that by 12, and that's 22, basically 2,200 a year. And if you're indie, who has that kind of money? So
that's a lot.
So they very clearly like took out the indie market.
It's a lot for a hobby, especially and that's probably, I mean, that's a lot of the people, maybe even the majority of a game jam doing it for like a hobby.
Where Unity's sort of I don't know necessarily would call it unique. What their desire to be, the space that they want to be in is much closer to like enterprise customers, big companies, and your Genshin Impact type of companies, where it's a lot of pay to play, a lot of games that are much more into the sort of like subscription model style of games, where they can like say, oh, now we're going to charge you for install base. So the more installs you have, then we're going to charge you per install.
So basically, the pricing model got a little complicated. They've been updating it, and a lot of people, the game jams have gone to Godot, including you.
Sure.
So how did that work out?
So, and again, this is sorry, it's story time in that sense where
I'm ready. I got a beverage. I'm comfortable. Let's do it.
You know, there's a sample code from gamedev.tv where you kind of are, this is an iPhone game, like a mobile game, so like you would jump on platform to platform to platform vertically, and it's an endless runner type of game. So instead of running, you're just jumping from platform to platform, and these platforms are randomly generated and going up. And I thought to myself, well, I think the example was just some random like minion looking character. And I said, well, why don't I just make this like an astronaut, so I don't have to like, let me do this in pixel art, because I kind of, while I don't necessarily like pixel art in general, like I do have something called Pixen, which is a pixel art program that I've always been wanting to like at least learn and get good at. So Pixen is a really good Mac iOS app that uses you can use iCloud to sync all your files, and it's actually pretty good at doing animation as well. So it's actually a really good app to do like pixel sprite sheets in. So one of the things that I wanted to do was like have that be sort of the base of like, I'm going to do a 32 by 32 character, 32 by 32 pixel with like a simple astronaut character in there. And then it will be, and then just minimum animation, because basically majority of the animation is this character just jumping from platform to platform. There's nothing, and maybe if I have time, maybe I'll have like a rocket booster or particle effect that will be coming from his back, so it would look like he's like, and it would be like sort of like his I don't know, rocket booster or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Would, like have him jump higher or faster. And the scenario is like, I remember watching a trailer to the new Aliens movie. Was it Alien Romulus? It's called Romulus.
Yeah, I saw it,
and I kept thinking like, oh, and they have, typical trailer, right? Like it's like a official trailer too, where they basically show you the whole movie.
Yeah.
So like they show like the space station or whatever exploding.
Thanks for the spoiler trailer.
Exactly, right. So I was thinking, it's like, oh, it'd be kind of funny is like, why don't I build this to be the self-destruct sequence Like this would be sort of like an endless runner, but the endless runner of you.
This is a game jam,
escape.
right? Like this is a 2-week sprint here.
Yeah. Again, this goes back to this word about scope. Keep that word in the top of mind. So you're trying to go up vertically on each platform that are randomly generated, and like underneath you is like lava that is like kind of like forming and dissolving all the platforms underneath you. So if you fall into the lava, you die. Right? That's how this endless
each one. Every time you describe more of this, I keep thinking in weeks of development time.
Okay, it gets better.
God, each feature, I'm like, if I knew what I was doing, is that 2 weeks?
Okay, but I feel like it's too easy, right? Like I'm playing the sample code game, and I'm like, okay, like I can do this forever, right? So either I have to like come up with a way, and a part of like a game, especially a game jam game, it's like an arcade game. Arcade games, by the nature, is designed to like eat your quarter. Like the whole goal is like get you comfortable within maybe like 2 minutes. Within that 2 minutes, you get the mechanics, you get everything, and then like throw everything in the kitchen sink right after, so that you like enjoy it a little bit and then you die, right? Because like in the way arcades make their profits is how many quarters they got, they sucked out of you. So
arcades, for those listening who are younger, were places you would go to.
Dave and Buster's, video games, your Chuck E. Cheese's, they're still out there.
Quarters were these coins. Round coins. Each one 25% of a dollar bill. A dollar bill is a just go down the list of things that the youngsters have no experience with.
There was a time
money and physical, not just digital.
There was a time where you put a coin into this little machine, and then you can press the start button, and then you could play a video game.
There was a time where there were phones just out in public, covered in the germs of every other person that used it, and you were supposed to take it off of the wall and put it right on your face. You're supposed to put coins into the slot and then talk on this disease-ridden handset that was bigger than like 2 cell phones put together. That's how we talked back then when we were out and about. Like,
you know that app icon that you see that on your iPhone that looks like this weird shaped thing.
That's weird.
That's what it looked like.
Weird crescent looking thing. Yeah.
But where were we?
Scope creep.
So the tension, scope creep. So what I wanted to do was say, okay, well, things should fall from the top, right? Because like
it makes sense. Gravity.
The lore is this space factory, big corporate space factory, is falling apart.
Oh yeah, makes sense.
And you have to have debris coming down from the top to like try to kill you, right?
So,
right.
So you get
hit by the
debris.
Yeah. So like you got danger come from the bottom,
like
and
Donkey Kong
with
barrels.
Yes,
with
but coming from 2 directions, right? So like you're not safe anywhere, right? So you got random debris coming down from the top,
sounds really
and
hard.
like the lava chasing you from the bottom.
Sounds like a difficult game.
On top of which, well, the theme is fortune, right? So what's the point? Well, like how do I get the concept of fortune in?
Can you win?
So one of the things that I have as an asset is a spinning that I don't have to like recreate, is a spinning coin.
Okay.
That is so if I just put these coins randomly on the platforms, you just pick them up if you get them, and they add to your fund.
Also, something that we used to do as children is pick up money we found on the ground, money that had been walked upon, tread upon by all kinds of feet. And we should just take that and put it in our pockets. And then after we had handled the money and in some transaction, like for instance, to buy a sandwich, we would then grab the sandwich with our hands and then eat the sandwich without washing our hands. Because that's why our immune system is so strong.
It's not $1 without that penny.
No, that's right. And because of all of the germs we were exposed to as children, that's why we survived COVID.
Yes.
That's why we are immune to everything. Not really.
Well, I remember, was it George Carlin would joke about him as a child? He would swim in the Hudson River.
Oh, right. And you know what? He didn't die of like an infectious disease. So,
Yeah.
Right. I think it was like heart attack or something. I don't know.
So anyway, one of the
Tangent,
things about
the podcast.
tangents, but one of the things that so that was okay. That was like, okay, that's it. That's all I'm doing. Because I was getting to a point where I was like, oh, it'd be kind of it would be kind of funny. It would be kind of funny. It would be kind of funny if I had because if this became a roguelike or a roguelite, I'm sorry, which is basically like so like if you get close to dying or if you die, right? There is a way to like save yourself basically. If you have enough money, you can buy you can buy your what is it? Not your freedom, but your
life,
like your second life basically.
Okay.
But it'll be like a power up. You can buy it, but you also get powered up.
Cool.
So one of the things that I thought was originally the idea about the fortune part of it was like, oh, it'd be kind of hilarious if like for some reason while this character is trying to escape or astronauts, he's like, you want him to be like Super Mario, right? He's like, woohoo, yeah, wee, I got the money.
That like would be funny.
Right? But then I thought, oh, I have to explain the exposition of this like the lore and the sort of like the world building, right? Like this is a great opportunity to do world building, right? So instead of the character, your character saying something, it should just be the silent protagonist, and the real voice is the AI, that's trying the AI assistant or the AI announcer. I don't know how to. It's like the HAL of that space station.
Like
it's the HAL of that space station. Yeah,
yeah. Or the thing
like
in
Portal.
the thing in Portal that tells you there's cake, but there isn't any.
Yeah. In fact, I think a better analogy is the HAL.
HAL,
the
HAL 9000.
Yeah,
that was from a movie, children, called 2001. Space Odyssey, wasn't it? Right? The Space Odyssey. Yes. Yeah. It's a slow burner, so you probably didn't watch it because you have the attention span of a gnat. But it's a good film.
It's a visual delight.
And HAL is a computer that locks you out. Locks out one of the main guys. It's a famous scene locks him out.
Actually,
open the doors.
It's hilarious. I don't think I've watched the entire thing myself
because it's long. It's very long.
I'm not going to knock anybody.
You should read the books. I read the books when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. They were better than the movies.
Oh, nice.
There's a sequel to 2001, by the way. It's actually not terrible.
2010.
Yeah. It's like
all right, where tangents. Okay, so
that's right. Tangent podcast.
So
we're gonna rename this.
I was thinking, it'd be hilarious. Is that we're going on this derivative of it being like basically a Weyland-Yutani, space station that is blowing up in its last phases, and I
decided fully articulate aliens.
Yeah.
I was joking. You decided to add something else?
No. I didn't. But now you have my brains going.
Oh God,
that idea. should be the theme of this entire
scope creep, the episode.
Yeah. Beware of the scope creep or something.
Yeah.
So anyway, this AI is initially trying to help you escape, right? Because its job is to assist you,
right,
in whatever it's programmed to assist you with, right? But its prime directives, in many ways, is not necessary to help you; it's to help the company.
Yeah, right. That actually is the theme of the alien movies,
right? So, like the idea is like it's trying to goat you into
goad you or goat you.
Goat you, go you. I don't
goad
know.
you.
Go you, goad you.
I don't know what goat you means, but that sounds great.
I graduated college.
You were the goat in college.
I was a goat.
Greatest of all time.
Slow. But so like the overall goal is that it would get aggressively belligerent as it like
nice
as it like tries to like encourage you to collect more money
because the money goes back to the company somehow.
Right. So the money, like it's like, look, this money is meant for the company. Like all this random coin that's just dropping is like out here. It's like that should be the company's money, right? That's not your money.
Return the money.
You have to return the money. like that. And so, but and there's some level of like, oh, I wanted to make two AIs like that are like constantly in like conflict with each other. Okay, remember scope.
So much scope creep.
All right, so like because like one AI is trying to like get you to buy like items for which to escape, to make it to help you escape, and the other one is like, look, just get the money. Like, what this is cutting into our profits. Why are we spending money?
So they built two competing AIs.
But what's weird is like on some level he actually the AI is conflicted himself, because he's like, well, I would need, in order for you to get more money, you have to live long enough to get the money and escape.
Here's another idea. There's one AI, and in all the chaos, there's like a damage that happens to the computer systems, and a backup of the AI comes online. So that's why there's two of them, because of errors. But here's a twist: you don't know which one is the original programming, because there's the error caused the AI to act differently, but you don't know which one it is until the end.
Oh, well, that's a hilarious part too. Like deep in like the recess of the stupid idea, I thought to myself, I was like, I could actually like kind of like joke about this whole LLM model idea in general. It's like this AI only has like 21st century pop references.
Because it's like a model that was they got cheap on the internet.
Cheap on the model.
The cheap model from 2024 or whatever.
Yeah, so it only has like up to that like level of like reference.
Doesn't even have Swift 6.
And because it's a slowly malfunctioning, a model that's also like almost hallucinating, and then like, how like that whole New York Times thing about the thing getting like overly hallucinated. Like this is basically like a play on that. It's just like it's like constantly confusing itself, and then trying to self-correct, but then self-correct in a weird way that doesn't quite make sense. So it has to like over self-correct, and then slowly like it won't ever speak the English language well. It just gets so okay. So all
these ideas you had, and so what actually did you get done? What actually works?
So I started. So typical of me. I start in the place section, not
the gameplay, right? You started with a gameplay.
No, because I was like, oh, I already have the tutorial. I could just rip off majority of that code base. But then I didn't realize, oh yeah, but I decided to do pixel art. So like all that art asset doesn't really make sense, because I have to like reset everything and like do that by hand, which is great. But
art assets take a long time.
Good, and you want to do it good, and you don't want to do like something crappy, and then you get all like.
So you got art assets done?
No, none.
You got no gameplay. You got no art assets. You get a title screen, a setting screen, anything?
No, not even. I got the font.
You got the font chosen. Or did you make the font?
I saw some of those sketches you made.
Okay. Yeah, I did the sketch. Sketch.
What works?
So nothing really. What ended up happening?
That's the kind of game jam I would end up with. That was my game jam.
I spent way too much time discovering this idea, and I actually used ChatGPT to help me with this.
With what?
Because create a bash script. Well, first of all, I was trying to figure out, how do I make something? How do I output a speech to text? Because being lazy, and also being that it's a game jam, I'm not going to do a voiceover for all these lines that they want. I want the AI program to do.
Yeah.
So instead, I was like, can I get a bash script to run a text to speech
program?
Like run through a bunch of lines in from a text file, and then just say the lines in a text to speech. It doesn't have to be perfect, because part of the charm of this AI is the fact that it's using like a second rate like voice, right? Like everything about this AI is cheap and indicative of like corporate greed.
And they're using parts of an old iBook or something.
Yeah. Just like really like every corner is cut in this
nice.
in this like in this AI bot. I feel like I need to like.
So you used ChatGPT to help you make a Bash script, which then used to generate the audio?
So if you can, I can show you real quick.
Yeah, I gotta. So you can't see this, audience, because this is just for us. But Kotaro is sharing.
So like, I have a script here. This was majority of it was using a command called say, and you can give it like say -v. And like the default voice is Daniel, which is like a British voice,
right?
And then the other thing is that I also installed something called FFmpeg, which allows me to modulate, add a little bit of reverb and like EQ effect filter to like give it like a little bit of like a robotic, more of a robotic feel, like a British robotic feel to it. And then I have it basically looped through a file with just text. So if I go back up, like I'll show you like this text file here. This is the phrase like "Welcome to Mega Max Ultra Big Supersize Corp Factory." We are currently testing our self-destruct sequence protocol. We thank you for your participation. We look forward to your evaluation. Our shareholder requirements are particularly high this quarter. Our CEO, Big George, appreciates your continued contribution. I should have buried there.
Nice.
So okay.
Did you write all these lines yourself?
Yes. So, but I try to make it as like generically stupid as possible. Like, I feel
I'm surprised you didn't use ChatGPT for that.
Yeah, that would have been even funnier.
That is a good point. I should have ran that through ChatGPT, to be honest. But I think it would have just been way too like the first one might make the most sense because that feels like this is trying too hard, the first line. But in any case, so I ran this script, and this is basically
how many lines did you end up with?
Oh, so I have two files. One is the main text, main menu text. So if you're in the main menu, you would hear lines like this.
Welcome to Mega Max Ultra Big Super Size Corp Factory.
All right. And then there's this.
We are currently testing our self-destruction sequence protocol.
Right, let me do that one more time.
We are currently testing our self-destruction sequence protocol.
So it has like a little bit of crunch at the end.
We thank you for your participation and we look forward to your evaluation. Our shareholder requirements are particularly high this quarter.
And then
our CEO, Big George, appreciate your continued contributions.
Now you notice how like flat that sounds.
Yeah.
One of the funny things about it. So like I'm going to show you the some of the weird so the coin pickup lines. Or anytime you pick up a coin, you'll see these like it'll start out very generic, like please evacuate to the highest level of this facility. I meant to say facility, but using our platform systems, we do request you pick up all company currency on the way up. Please remember we take 30% of your final output.
It's always great to have a dig on
but then it like slowly like starts to get a little bit like pushy. So it's like, please pick up more money.
Please pick up more money.
Do better. WTF? Why you so bad? And then it just gets like belligerently like all it just talks about is money, and then just like gets into like weird pop culture stuff, and then like then towards the end it will just like say like random stuff like go go go, or like eventually it'll just say a lot of video game references and
tasty.
Other things. Yeah, tasty, stuff like that. The thing is that it can't do it with the inflection that you expect it to because it's just reading the text. So it doesn't like, even if I put the exclamation point behind them, or if I make them, if I all caps things, it doesn't change too much in terms of the inflection. So
it's because you're using the say command on a Mac, right? But it's not very.
Please evacuate to the highest level of this faculty using our platform systems.
I meant to say facility, but anyway,
it works. It's a mouthful.
We do request that you pick all company currency on the way up.
What was the funny one? Which line was that?
99 cents is not $1 without the penny. Please pick it up.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Performance reviews are coming up. Please work harder. Please pick up more money. Do better.
I like that one.
WTF? Why are you so bad? Quota ain't gonna fill themselves.
And then it just gets into like,
get that money eye.
It doesn't even make any sense.
OMG. Dollar make me holler. Mo money, mo money, mo money.
That was great.
Wait, what was this one? Wait, hold on. Okay, that was a blank.
Go.
Okay, that one was supposed to say go, 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 but okay.
Tasty.
See, remember that was the Mortal Kombat joke?
Tasty.
But no.
Oh yeah. $9. Please remember we take 30% from your final output.
Yes.
Big bonus for Big George. You got what I need.
Yeah, so I won't go any further than that, but
there's so many to pick from. For the tag.
Well, the thing is, like,
now.
the beauty is that you can have as many horrible lines as you want.
Yeah.
Just and the amount of lines that you can, the speed in which the say command and running through that bash script, it didn't take that long. It took like maybe like less than 30 seconds to get these lines outputted out, run through the FFmpeg filter, and then output from an AIFF file to an MP3 file. Like less than 30 seconds, maybe even 15, I would argue. So yeah. So that's all I really did. I mean, I did learn something. So it is hilarious that I was able to get this working in the way that I did. I didn't anticipate that this would be the thing I get finished.
Well, maybe you can, if you remember, put your bash script in a gist, and I'll put the link in the show notes.
Sure.
You can see what ChatGPT made with you.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that was interesting about using ChatGPT, I think, was, which is what we're going to call it from now on.
The Primogen, I think, coined it. That's where I heard it originally.
Fair enough.
It has a great, it has a great ring to it. You know, I keep calling it that myself. So,
ChatGPT is such a bad product name.
Yeah, no, ChatGPT at least like is amusing to say. You know.
Yeah. It is. So, like, one of the things that's was nice was that the whole back and forth about saying, "Oh, can you give me? How do I create something that adds a little bit of reverb?" And it'll give me two options, and then I could take. Oh, originally it was more like, what does FFmpeg give me? And can I use that to add a little bit of a more robotic voice to the Daniel voice? And so it gave me the options to do it, and it wasn't all there. I still modified some of the parameters, but it at least gave me a sense of like what the parameters did, so that I could like tweak them to the way I wanted them tweaked. Because I did want that like slightly crunchy robotic thing at the end. Maybe less about that, but I think that it kind of adds to like the sort of like the sort of like the disconnect of like, oh, this sounds. One of the things that I find funny about AI like voices and bots is just how sort of flat and I almost miss that sort of like weird flat like sort of non-human nature about it.
Yeah, right.
I almost wish I could like do a blend of like just a purely robotic, like, you know how like sometimes you see like anime and they have these robot voices, but they're very cutesy, but they're not like, you couldn't tell like what particular gender. It's just like a blend between the two, and I kind of want to like cross that border of like, I want it to be its own distinct voice. But in this case, like, I'm fine because it's a game jam game.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do that with one of the voice synthesizer, products is available. But with the say command, apparently pretty limited.
Yeah. Well, the say command, the say command just gets me where I need it to look like you can actually have a long list of all the voices. So there was like this robotic voice. I was like, give me a robotic voice that is sinister. And it gave me like
oh wow,
it's like it starts with a Z. Shoot. I have like a list of voices that I actually like copied. Yeah.
Cool.
It is Zartan or Zarvox.
Zarvox.
Yeah, so Zarvox would be the name of the voice that if you wanted to make it sound. But the thing is, like Zarvox does not sound does not sound like anything comprehensible.
Oh,
if that makes sense. So
no, I understand what you mean. Yeah, can't understand what it's saying.
Yeah, so that's the part that I'm like, oh, it's not it like it's one thing, like even these are like, oh, I don't understand what it's saying, right? Like sometimes it's like it'll say something and I'm like, oh, I have to change the text to make it more comprehensible because otherwise you're like nobody's gonna get what it says. I need need the exposition part of it to make sense.
Yeah.
Like to be easy to understand.
Yeah. So
but, everything else can be like random and like, oh, I didn't quite get that voice. It's like, that's fine. You're not meant to get that voice.
So for the game jam, did you like enter anything into it? You just got these voices generated. That was it.
I got the voices generated, and that was it. Like that was.
I mean, still, that's not nothing. You know how like isn't it the story that Base Camp wasn't that 36 Signals wasn't that originally like a side project or something? They had built it for themselves to manage client projects, and not the story, and then it came into a thing. Maybe this is your Base Camp.
Maybe
I mean, beginning of your journey into a brand new entrepreneurial game product experience.
So I just changed the voice and copied them for the coin pickup, so to the Zarvox version, so that just so you get a context of how that sounds.
Please evacuate to the highest level of this faculty using our platform systems.
So you can kind
of. We do request that you pick all complete currency on the way up.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but it doesn't. It lacks that the humor of starting with Daniel.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Daniel is like very, very like formal Britishy, and like I think I love that sort of like weird disconnect of like it is going through these pop cultural references, and yet it is still trying to like maintain a level of class that is not there. So
then what's next then for you? Are you gonna continue working on this?
You know, one of the funny things is like I want to at least build a vertical slice, which is I guess industry terms of just getting something like some very polished
like a feature
level 1, just like a version 1 of this, to get working and get on an iPhone and just to like try it out, because I'm so enamored about the stupidity of this entire concept.
I love it.
I can't stop myself from like not finishing it. So
that's great. I love this idea. It's very entertaining. I enjoy it. Just the voices have been fun.
I mean, the jokes kind of write themselves, so it's like one of those like But one of the funny things is like we talk about mechanics and scope. Like I have to figure out like a way to like say, okay, like at what point does the AI get more belligerent, and how do I manage its subtle transition to like hallucination mode and like and that kind of stuff. But that's another topic for another time. So we can probably call it a day for that. So till next time, you can learn more about Philly Cocoa at phillycocoa.org. There you'll find links to our Slack group, meetup schedule, and contact info. If you're feeling generous, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever podcast platform of choice is for yourself. And share us with all your developer friends. And one more thing.
One more thing.
Well, only in the sense that it's the same thing we've been saying for the past 3, 4, 5, 6 podcasts. It's our good friend Azam at azamshop.school.
Azamsharp.school.
Oh, geez. You can't have a side project spotlight without me doing a flub in one thing. It might as well just be the promo. But azamsharp.school is a I don't know. It's like if you want to learn about iOS development, if you want to learn how to be a iOS developer, it's a very good start to learning. There are a lot of courses here that you can learn from, that you can pay reasonable money to learn. Server-side Swift, Superbase, which is basically an alternative to Firebase. You can learn how to build apps using Swift data. You can learn Swift UI architectural patterns and best practices, MVVM, core data. The list goes on. We recommend them because. Oh, you were going to say something? Or?
No, I'm saying, we've used his materials in our past, and he is Azam is not sponsoring this. There's no sponsor. Just to be clear, YouTube or whatever. There's no sponsor. We just like Azam. We just like him, and we've found his stuff to be very valuable. He's become a good friend of ours here in Philly Coca, and we hope that you'll at least check out his stuff. He also has a lot of free stuff on his YouTube channel, so you don't have to go to the you don't have to just buy stuff to check him out. You can check a lot of his stuff on YouTube first and see if you want to do it.
And he also has, if you want to try a lot of his courses, he has a subscription model where it's $25 a month. And you have access to all his courses, his video courses, 50% off any of the workshops, monthly Q&As, digital books,
he has live workshops. That's cool.
For if you want to do the annual, you get the $250 deal, and that's like $20 a month.
I don't know when he has time to do this. How does he do this?
I don't know.
And he lives in Houston. It's like living in, I don't know, like the butthole of hell, apparently. So I don't know how he...
Oh, my goodness. That's his words, not yours.
No, he didn't say... I don't think he's ever said that.
I'm joking.
I'm saying based on the Houston tweets or posts, apparently it's terrible down there.
I don't think he would disagree with you, though.
That's what I mean. I think he's probably laughing.
Yes. Okay. Well, till next time, good luck on your own developer journey. We will cheer for you always.
Please remember we take 30% from your final output.